Hello, friends. Welcome back to the island of Tsushima for Ghost of Tsushima with the Therapist Part 17. It's wonderful to have you aboard on this thunderous evening. I appreciate that you have made the effort to watch this entire playthrough so far. It's great to have you here. And I hope you continue to leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, follow all the links in the description, all that fun stuff. It's been really fun to read comments and see people's reactions to this playthrough. So I hope you will continue to do that. And we're going to have some interesting stuff ahead here. I am sure of up here on the North Island. Like, look, we have so much shit we still have to do. So we're going to do it. But thanks for making me part of your day. Jin, what do you think about that, buddy? Yeah, me too. All right. A little mist. Oh. God. Oh. Every time it's been a little while since the last time I played this, and like just jumping back into it, I just am like immediately like, God damn, you're pretty. It's like after I haven't seen my wife after a trip, like, God damn, you're pretty. It's just like that. Whoa. My tea is still hot. Liberate Numata settlement. All right. Look at this guy fishing. Oh man. At least he went out doing what he loved. No, yeah, if we wore the samurai stuff, yeah, it's pretty menacing. At the same time, samurai gear is a lot more protective than... Music, yeah. Concert going on right now. What's up, bud? I am fish. I am frog. Amphibian of Tsushima. Stance of the frog. Hey. That guy wasted no time. Oh yeah. Hello. Hey. Hi. Oh. Oh boy, lost my touch in my time off. Release the Falcons. Oh boy. No. Wow. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, Ryan. You gotta get your shit together, bud. Take a week off and your samurai skills are not as sharp as they once were. That's okay though. You're still doing alright. Claim the stolen iron.
Is
there somebody up there? Oh, there is. Hey. It's a big encampment. Man, those guys aren't very strong when you're like kicking them around, but records. Conversations with the Khan 6. Khotun appears to have put the events of Castle Canada and the liberation of Lord Shimura behind him, partly because he holds Castle Shimura, which is strategically more important to maintain control of on the island. It also shields his forces in the north who carry out orders so secret that I have not been able to discover what they might be, and I think it gives Khotun pleasure to defile the seat of Shimura clan's power. In any event, Khotun seems confident that his enemies will exhaust themselves fighting amongst each other and the Mongols. All he need do is stock up on food, supplies, and munitions and depart for the mainland when the time is right. Yep. Totally makes sense. I think he fully understands as well that this is going to cause a rift between the samurai because the samurai are going to resort to methods that they don't typically condone. And it's just going to sow a whole bunch of dissonance within the ranks. I also think people are going to probably feel a sense of further disenfranchisement with the samurai. This whole thing is really a solid political move for the Khan. In terms of like sowing seeds of dissonance among the masses. Oh boy. Oh my god. Just keep swinging, Jin. Oh god, another one? Oh man. There we go. We're getting it back. We're getting it back. Practice your lockpicking, Jin. You never know when you may need it again. Dude, this encampment is huge. Oof. Oh, I thought there was a body up there. What's up? I think that's... Does that cover it? Solid. Aegon, thank you for the Prime sub. Oh, baby.
That's my noble.
Sir. Oh, man. Okay. Is everything piled up in the center again for me to just collect all the collectibles that were in here? That would be awesome.
May I assist you, my lord?
You have my thanks.
Okay.
Thank you for all your...
Man, drinking tea while you do this is fantastic. Yeah, like, wait a minute. I so hope that I don't lose out on the collectibles. There has to be a place where they're all stylized. Is this it?
I miss going out in the cold.
Because I know I missed a few things. No, I want the supplies.
The Mongol general, Kotal, Seo Kotal. You just took over Castle Shima. What's the first thing you do? I don't know.
But I don't have any fireflies anymore, so... Oh well. I do love that when you do that, you unlock more things. Alrighty. Let's continue our journey. So much variety in the environments too. It's so great. God. Ugh. I wish there was, maybe there will be, but I would love it if there was like a fishing minigame here. Just sit on the edge of the bank in this beautiful weather and environment and just go fishing. Catch yourself some food. It'd be great. Stonemeyer Lookout, Mongol territory. Oh my god. You have arrived at your track location and it's a nightmare. What a throw. Looked like he just blinded his own guy. I mean, I guess it would make sense that they're more fortified as the farther north you go, because they've been traveling north, so I guess they would have more time to get ready while I was...
Are you cowards?
Rummaging around. What a shot. Dude just wrapped his sword in fire? Holy shit. I was gonna try to shoot the barrel, but... Alrighty. Mongol artifacts. Offering plate. The Mongol people worship a diverse hierarchy of spirits. The highest among the pantheon are a myriad of gods known as Tengri. These spirits are typically only contacted by great shamans and leaders. Beneath this tier are 3 groups of ancestral spirits: Lord spirits, protector spirits, and guardian spirits, with lesser echelons beyond these. Ceremonial offerings to all the spirits were made at communal private shrines and consisted of food, joss sticks, and libations. I would never have otherwise ever learned about any kind of Mongol history. So I appreciate that this game is also a history lesson. Fire swords are very fun to wield and use. I'll take your word for it. And I'm sure it makes you feel very powerful. Ugh, weather. The weather is just so great. Ah, stay away from me, pigs. I ain't interested. I ain't interested. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't need my katana's warranty to be extended. I don't need it. Fine. Look at all these like areas that are just taken over, man.
Swear I heard something. Huh?
Oh, you heard something. You heard the Ghost of Tsushima.
Make him bleed.
Damn, this guy's a hell of a swordsman. What's up? Just stand there and look at me. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna kill your archer friend. Oh, these are straw hats. Oh, that's why they're so good. Oh, shit. I did not realize that. They're wearing the Ronin gear. And they have the straw hats. Wow. All right. Those men are inspired, and it's understandable because again, Khan has promised that he would take care of them. They're desperate. Look, the Khan. Here's the other thing that makes the Khan really smart. Makes him an asshole, but makes him really smart. Is he preys on desperation. He is aware that if he can get people that are at their wit's end or out of hope or just straight up out of resources and are at the very edge of their ability to survive, he can galvanize them. You restrict resources. That's the way we heard about him restricting food. Hoard all your stockpile the food, make sure people are hungry, make sure people have nowhere left to turn, and show them that you have strength and resources, and they'll follow. So all the straw hats now, you know, their leader in Ryuzo already said, I'm going to join the Khan. He essentially, I would say he didn't actively do this, but he certainly sent a message passively that he did surrender to the Khan by saying, I'll work for you. He did what Shimura was not willing to do. And his guys followed. At least it seems that way. They were like, all right, yeah, we'll bring Jin's dead body if it means that we're going to get some of that food that's being stockpiled and we get some of that protection that he could offer. Absolutely. We don't subscribe to any general political leaning or house of the island. We just want to survive. We want to do well by ourselves. I'm sure that all the soldiers, or a big chunk of the soldiers that the Khan is willing to throw in droves and have sacrificed as the samurai make their way up the island toward him, are all desperate. They all understand what it is that they're fighting for. We want land and territory and resources to protect our families. Why does anybody go out and fight in the military? It's a sense of duty to your fellow countrymen, a sense of duty to your family. there's an idealization that happens there, but also it's built on the idea that if we don't galvanize ourselves in this way, that the world could come get us. We have to attack first, or else we will get attacked. We have to make sure that we're controlling the narrative, et cetera, et cetera. So all these people are acting out of some sense of desperation, and the Khan has harnessed that. He knows what he's doing. So again, it's what makes him so scary. But that's pretty wild to see the Straw Hats there. I didn't put that together immediately, but it makes sense why they're a formidable opponent. Get people disenfranchised enough with the system, and they will act against their own best interest in a way that feels like they're acting for their best interest. It's pretty wild. Hello, cat. Loki. You here to hang out with me and Jin and the Mongols? You here, or are you here to be the kitty man? I'm sorry, your spot's being taken up by the TV. Go ahead, lay down in your corner. We're in front of the screen. Okay. Okay. Love my cat. He's my buddy. Yeah, buddy. Nope. Tea is not for kitties. Tea is not for kitties. Alright, hold on a second. Do you want to lay on me? Is that why you're doing this? Huh? You want to lay on my lap? Or do you just want to be the most adorable thing that ever happened to my life? Hmm? What are you doing? Ooh. Damn, these guys are... What do you say, boys? Oh. See, and I like... They have a lot more unblockable attacks.
I've killed better fighters than you.
Oh, shit. I will be curious to see if the Straw Hats ever surrender, or like back down or run away. Because I do think that there is absolutely going to be a difference between people who are fighting me because they are desperate for resources and are doing this as a last-ditch effort to join the army and blah, 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 versus the people, or people who were like, you know, maybe drafted in the Mongolian army and don't actually want to be here, versus people who are fighting against me ideologically. The people like the Straw Hats who maybe are desperate but also subscribe to more of a group, sort of like if conceptually the idea of taking Jin down is more important to them and they tie a sense of their identity to it, they're less likely to back down. Like, the idea is that you don't want people to just act out of fear. You want people to actually subscribe to your shared ideology. You want people to believe that it's part of them that they eliminate the samurai and take over the island. When you have that, then you really have people entrenched in the behaviors that you need in order to get them to go in the direction you want them to go. So I say this mostly as just like I'll be looking at differences in the enemy types to see who's willing to surrender or back down or run away versus who just keeps fighting no matter what the odds are. Like, we keep fighting no matter what the odds are because our land and our ideals are at stake. Our culture is at stake. That matters a lot. It keeps you more entrenched. That's why Yuna's not as connected to this. Quivers containing upwards of 60 arrows were equipped by a Mongol warrior both in their person as well as their mounts. Archers normally bring multiple bows into battle with them. Heavier variants are favored for dismounted use, while lighter bows are ideal for firing swiftly from horseback. Oh, hello. Okay, you want to be part of this too? Yeah, trying to be part of the party. Check. Yeah. Mike. Wow. These deer just chilling in here. What's up? All right. This tea is not for you. You can have water, but you can't have tea. What? Okay. Any kind of liquid on my desk, and Jack just wants to have it. Doesn't care. I tried to drink my Coke Zero the other day. Like, dude, it's not for you, buddy. Oh, look at those birds. Oh. I know what you're doing. You're like a person at a party who keeps hovering around the cookie plate and just takes a cookie and then walks away and acts like they didn't eat the cookie and then goes back. He hovers. Stop it. Hey. This is why I don't let you guys in here when I do these playthroughs. Because you act like a cat. Sometimes that's awesome. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass. YouTube comments suggest that you guys don't mind my cat's mischief while I do these gameplay playthroughs, so. That's why I'm more willing to put up with their shit. Alright. Oh, really? Okay, that's good to know. Alright, travel to a fishing hut to look into the rumors. Oh. The river children.
My lord is still out there. He came at night. Did you see it?
Calm down. What's your name?
God damn it, Jin.
Shino, my lord.
Just ask what's your name. I know I got on him about this a while back, so... But... Take the phrase calm down out of your vernacular and just never say it. There's just no reason to ever say it. You don't need to do it. Starting that with calm down makes it so much more about like Jin's desire to have her present in a certain way than it is it's in your best interest to calm down. There's just no reason to say it. Just say, what's your name? It's a great way to ground her, by the way. Asking people their name is a really... People can usually remember their name even amidst the most incredible chaos. So it's a good way to ground a person. To say, hey, like, I'm Jin. What's your name? Great conversation starter. You don't need the calm down piece of it.
Shino, tell me what you saw.
A river child. Kappa.
A demon? You sure?
It's just like the stories my father told me. A monster in the river. Claw marks in the soil.
You're lucky to be alive.
I hid. While my father went to go scare the kappa away. Then I heard splashing and screaming.
I will check on him, Shino. Stay here, away from the water.
I love that Jin took her seriously. That's fantastic. Ooh, the river children. Look at those footprints.
Be careful, my lord. The kappa are hungry.
Wonderful. See one.
Knocked over. Something was in a hurry.
Rice barrel.
Half-eaten fish. Something was ravenous.
Ooh, just ate like raw fish sitting outside? No, thank you. Ooh.
Tracks. Could be human or animal. They lead into the river.
Are they human or are they dancer?
Something brushed my leg.
Something brushed my leg. Oh shit.
The tracks continue.
Oh, Jin. Track the cap. I love that the wind blows when you're going the wrong way. It's great. Oh, there we go. All right. Footprints. Those footprints are spooky. Spooky footprints.
Must be Shino's father. The cuts are
Yeesh.
savage but clean. Possibly from a blade. His killer may have left a trail. More tracks. They went this way. That smell. Cooking fish.
It's that smell. That smelly smell that smells smelly. Oh, look, frogs chilling in the water. I don't want to do a standoff. I want to.
It wasn't Kappa. Just thieves and murderers. Monsters just the same.
Well, I. Oof. All right, well, here I was about to be very empathic, and then these guys are talking like, oh, man, I killed this guy, and all I got was a pipe. You know, if this guy was like, hey, man, it sucks. We had to kill that guy. We didn't get anything. I feel terrible about it. That'd be one thing. You know, some people are acting out of desperation. Some people start drinking the Kool-Aid. And,
Throw your blades!
don't respect that.
We will drink over your corpse tonight!
Yeah, I mean, okay. Sure. Now I'm the Kappa,
I'll
bitch.
take you with me!
Are you scared? Come on, you talk a big game.
They likely stole from Shino's father. Try to heal. A flute. Must have belonged to Shino's father.
Simple handcrafted flute stolen by bandits from Shino's father.
I will return it to her.
And she'll probably say, no, Jin, you can have it. And then that will be what I use to make music going forward. That sucks, man. Dude got taken out probably because those guys, I mean, I don't want to say that they had a thirst for murder or anything like that, but it just blows. Because I have no doubt that if those bandits showed up and were like, hey man, we're not trying to be assholes, we're just really hungry, is there any way you could spare some rice? People will help when they can.
My father.
I'm sorry, Shino.
The Kappa killed him.
Not Kappa. Thieves.
No. Only a demon could do such a thing.
Desperation can bring out the demon in the best of men.
Yep.
Is there somewhere you can go?
Akashima. My aunt is from there.
Did this belong to your father?
Yes. He'll travel to Akashima with me. Thank you.
Oh, she didn't give me the flute. Cool.
I'll head for town soon.
You know, the whole idea that it was the Kappa, like that default over, like it had to have been the Kappa. People, for some, it's easier to believe in some kind of existential, or not existential, but like a spiritual demon type thing than it is to wrap your head around the idea that your fellow humans could act so poorly. Oh, it was a river monster. It was, you know, this person must be possessed. All this stuff. It's hard sometimes for people to really reconcile with just how nasty human beings can be. Particularly when they act out of self-interest, and even more particularly when they act out of desperate self-interest. the overwhelming majority of people watching this video right now, including myself, would be very surprised with just how far you would be willing to go to facilitate your own survival if you were under significant duress. When we are comfortable and safe and like relatively safe and have the majority of our needs met, it's incredibly hard to conceptualize the idea that you would be a total asshole, or that you would potentially kill somebody and take what little resources they have for yourself. But if you plop a person in a desperate enough situation, Jin's right. Desperate people do really terrible things, but they're really terrible when you look at it from a I'm not justifying murder. I'm not saying that what they did was okay. I'm not saying that like murdering her dad was cool because they were desperate. It's a good but it's an explanation for what their headspace is. And when people get desperate or are told that they're desperate to a point that they believe it and become afraid, you can absolutely, you can manipulate that cruelty toward an agenda, which is what the worst of leadership will do. Kind of like what we were talking about with the Khan. But also, like, it will lead to people doing things they never imagined that they would do. Most of us like to believe that we have boundaries in certain places, and you find out through experience that you'll go way farther past whatever limitations you think you have when the situation dictates the need for it. Humans are animals, man. Would it be an inaccurate word that some reconcile too well or much with human cruelty? I don't think reconcile is the word that I would use. I would say that there are people who can move to a place of desensitization around it, or there are people who are in a space of ignorance about it, or people who might be habituated around it. I mean, reconciling I guess the way that I would use reconcile there is you have to reconcile the fact that humans are indeed animals and more often than not act in their own self-interest. And I don't mean that in any kind of malicious way, but we're not wholly different from any other animals that walk the planet. We just like to believe we are because our brain has a prefrontal cortex and is capable of developing complex language and symbolism and stuff like that. But you know, what those guys did is abhorrent. It's terrible. They killed that guy. Again, they probably could have just asked for assistance, and there's a good chance that those people would have spared what they could. But when you're hungry and desperate and overwhelmed and terrified, you add all that stuff together, and it leads to behaviors that are unbecoming of whatever morality structure dictates the terms of the environment you're in. It's why when I was, this isn't perfectly related, but it's further illustration. When I was working on the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, and you're taught how to do assessment while you're talking to people around how like lethal and immediate the danger a person is to themselves is, one of the core things that you have to ask about is a person's impulsivity. Part of that impulsivity includes asking questions like, have you been eating lately and regularly and healthily? Have you been sleeping? Because when people are hungry and sleep deprived and experiencing chronic stress, it can lead to more impulsive decision making. And I mean, I'm all for people understanding their locus of control. I fundamentally believe that people have more control than they often believe that they have. But biologically, there are certain factors that constrain our ability to be as mindful and in control as we would like to be. If a person has consumed alcohol or used other drugs, that's going to affect their impulsivity. But hungry people are like any other hungry animal. You know, it starts with, the funny, oh, I get so hangry, ha, 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 ha. But if you're actually starving, it's a whole different ballgame. And most people have not been in a position where they actually understand what food scarcity and starvation is actually like. You know, if you're like a person, you're like, oh man, I didn't eat dinner yesterday, so God, I'm so hungry, I'm in a bad mood, I'm tired. I mean, that's legitimate, but that's not starvation. The things that people will resort to in order to meet their needs when they are not being met under significant chronic duress will surprise you, but shouldn't, especially after we have these conversations. Yeah, they could have been denied assistance. If they were denied assistance, though, that's not a license to kill, right? But the system itself, look, the reason that so many people on this island are disenfranchised with the system is I fully believe that this system is not providing in the way that people are needing. I think it's why people are turning on each other. It's why people are going to be willing to join the Mongols. The reality is the system is failing people. The system is working for Shimura and Jin and people who have resources, power, and privilege, and that's pretty much the case across any human system that we're ever embedded in. But absolutely, I mean, these bandits don't have much of anything. They're sleeping in lean-tos out in the middle of a field with very little cloth on. They don't have much. And yeah, it's the system probably not working for them. There's individual accountability, absolutely, but there's also systemic accountability. There's a tendency for people to look at that in a very binary way. It's like, oh, if your circumstances are 100% your fault, make the system work for you. Not everybody has the opportunity to do that. In some ways, the system has to make itself available and work for people. And when it doesn't, people will turn on that system. Understandably so. This game's a really great illustration of that. We're fighting for something that not everybody on the island believes they benefit from. Dude, there's a lot going on this side of the island. My goodness, feels like every time we're constantly... Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to call no. Well,
You deserve the best.
a lot of Mongol patrols. A lot of bears, apparently, just chilling out in the middle of the field. Breath of Hachiman. Let the kami of the samurai guide your blades. That's pretty hot. That is pretty hot. Not gonna use it though.
Чи харав? Яасан бэ? Очиж барь. Ой, өнөөхийг чи харлаа. Өдөрөө. Яса хар. Хатта нүртэй. Өдөрөө. Би ой.
All right, Nobu. Let's go, buddy.
I knew you'd find me, Sakai. You can go, boy.
Duel in the Drowning Marsh. Oh, all right. What's up, man?
Straw Hats are cowardly traitors.
No,
You
they're
all
not.
deserve death.
And
Nope.
samurai are spoiled hypocrites who steal glory from real warriors like me. I'll prove it.
Come on, then.
Look, this shit's real, man. There's so much more complexity in that exchange than what meets the eye initially. People are very bad in general at questioning and critically thinking about what they bring to the table in the roles that they hold dearest. We are talking about two men standing in this field right now who deeply, deeply, deeply entrench themselves in their identities. One is a straw hat, one is a samurai, and that comes with it a lot of baggage. And as a result, there's a psychological split that happens both individually and collectively between groups. This is where you get a lot of polarization between groups. Essentially, the idea would be that for Jin saying you guys are a bunch of cowards that deserve death, that's less a value statement about the Straw Hats and more a statement of self-preservation. Because if Jin, in order for Jin to empathize and acknowledge with the Straw Hats, he would have to also acknowledge that he is an extension of a system that is failing its people. That he is in a position of privilege, and maybe the samurai are not all they're cracked up to be. And that is a violation of his own sense of identity and his code and all these things that he's built this really strong bubble around himself with. So to empathize means to critically analyze your place in the world in a way that may not be particularly favorable. And that kind of dissonance doesn't sit well with people. So it's a lot easier for Jin to look at a straw hat and say, you're a piece of shit, rather than make the effort to understand his context. In the same way that the straw hat, the straw hat's been more forced to do that with the samurai than the samurai are with them because of where their position is in the hierarchy. But there's a real conversation to be had about why are you the way that you are and what are we working with. Again, the Khan's taking the time to get to know this stuff. The reason the Khan is galvanizing people is because he actually is taking the time to understand his enemy. He's taking the time to understand the people of the island, and he's slowly turning them on each other because he can empathize with their needs. He can empathize with their disenfranchisement. So it's sad to me that we're in a position here where these two guys are about to fight and one of them's about to die because we're not willing to understand each other. And in particular, Jin's not willing to understand the Straw Hats. Jin's surprise and this idea that the Straw Hats are a bunch of cowards. They are not cowards. They are not. I bet you they would say that they are brave. They are standing up to the system. That's what takes courage, not falling in line with a system that doesn't take care of you. Jin's evaluation of them as cowards is built into his own code of honor as a samurai and what he believes about the hierarchical structure of the island. I'm not here to say what's right or wrong, but that's the complexity of that engagement there. There's so much more there than just, oh, your guy betrayed me and I'm mad about it. Ooh. Stone stance is effective against swords. I know. I'm in stone stance. Oh, I thought I was anyway. Oops. Whoa. Whoa.
You lived your life in a castle. He made you soft.
Then why are you out of breath?
This is a good duel. This guy's actually formidable. Oh. Cool.
Farewell, Ronin.
Sucks, man. Sucks that it had to end that way. But look, that's exactly what the Khan wants. Just to be clear, we both just did exactly what the Khan wants. We are two people from the island of Tsushima who are very strong, formidable opponents that just halved ourselves instead of pushing against him. It's exactly what he wants. Let me get the Ronin to change. Let me get the Ronin galvanized and taken care of and chasing a carrot. And the samurai, either the Ronin will kill the samurai or the samurai will kill the Ronin, and either way, it's less people I have to deal with. And it really sucks that the two of us can't take that into account there and look at each other and go, Jesus, man, why are we fighting each other? We should be pushing up. Got some stupid-ass billionaires sitting up in the castle up on the north side, and we're sitting here fighting with each other because we're desperate. What are we doing? Happens in real life, as many of you know. And we just saw the full embodiment of that. Oh, cool. Now let's write a nice haiku. By the way, before we write this haiku, we have a tendency to look at how, like, who have you been told is the enemy? What have you been told is bad? How do you get people out and active and fighting against something that they are told that they should be afraid of, or something you don't understand? The flip side of this is that you can also get people to advocate and fight for things when you get them to believe that certain things are more virtuous than others, that certain things are more important than others. If you can see something as the ideal, and that's a piece that you fit within, and is something that gets reinforced even by somebody who is acting against your own best interest. Like Jin is an example of that. Jin makes poor decisions sometimes and works against and works for a system that's not working for the island because he's been told and believes that his role as a samurai is deeply important to the people of the island, that the structure that exists, his uncle being the leader and all this stuff is for all intents and purposes good, and that anything that would oppose that is likely a problem, is riffraff, is, you know, the anti-establishment is to be anti-establishment is to be cowardly and to be less than. So there's a bit of like, what do you see as antithetical to your own importance? But there's also that reinforcement of your thing being more important than the other thing. And if you get that double whammy, now you really got people locked in and fighting each other. We all care about the island. We all want resources. We all want to, I mean, I don't know very many people that actually want to live in conflict and live in chronic stress. I don't know many humans that want that. And so everybody on this island wants to be able to live their life, have their stomach filled, and be able to engage in some form of like, you know, leisure and enjoyable activity, find purpose in their work or in their families or etc. Every single person on this island wants it, and we're all killing each other because the Khan came in here and injected a whole bunch of dissonance for his own gain, for the gain of his people. It's a bummer, man. Humans are not as sophisticated as we'd like to believe we are. Reflect on uncertainty. Oh, good. Standing amidst death. Grim reminder. Ocean out of reach. Unknown world teems with light. Life always standing together. Alone, never forgotten. An unknown world teems with life. Once a grander sight, fading memories, nowhere left to go.
A grim reminder. An unknown world teems with life. Fading memories.
Headband of uncertainty, a grim reminder. Oh, that's cool. It's got like the little eyeballs on it. Hey, thanks for being here. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, whether it's as these are coming out or years into the future, I'm really glad you're here. Those of you that are here with me live, thanks so much for hanging out. I know that sometimes these conversations are not particularly fun, but they're certainly poignant to everyday life. And I remind you, I'm but one person. I'm but one perspective. So I appreciate your interest in hearing what I have to say about this stuff, and I hope that this playthrough continues to be a meaningful experience for you in the way that it is for me. We've literally just stayed in here, and we've been going for over an hour. That is wild. Kenji there. Ishikawa is all the way up here. More Ishikawa over here. There's just so much going on here. Akashima Village seems like it's probably a good place to go, so we're gonna hit this and then probably go down there.
Trade you for anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly my point, Kiara, is that like these people are disenfranchised with the system, and they have good reason to be, and it's understandable why they're doing what they're doing. Like, I don't fault. That's why I don't think they're cowards. I totally understand why the Ronin don't want to fight for us and are doing their own thing and are now working for the Khan. It completely makes sense why they would do that. They are just it's a different version of disenfranchisement, but they're like bandits. They're like anybody else. If you don't believe the system's going to take care of you, why would you fight for it? Oh, okay, I know where we are now.
Faster, move. Show me your skill.
What's up, boys? Oh boy, there's a lot of them. What's the matter, big guy? You spooked? Oh, you asshole. Oh man, you got fire arrows? You're even worse. Oops. Rebels retreat, man. Oh, gee. Oh, and then your own guy shot you? Wow. What the hell was that? I like got like animation lock. Whoa. What a kick. That seems a bit ridiculous. Oh. Getting rough out here, man. Opponents are becoming more formidable. Now, those roundhouse kicks are nutty. These fireflies are so not. Milk rack. Since fermented milk products are a staple of the Mongol diet, soldiers travel with many utensils and materials for processing dairy cultures. Milk is traditionally prepared by cloth filtration, followed by storage in a large open leather sack. The huhur? These sacks are normally suspended near the entrance of a yurt, though sometimes they are also strapped to the side of a horse's saddle and thus agitated over the course of a day's riding. That's brilliant. It's good shit. I mean, so technology is incredible to me, obviously, but I really think that like I am so fascinated by like primitive intelligence. Like when people didn't have all the aids that technology affords us at this point, like the way that people did things in such a mechanical like slash analog way is absolutely incredible. Look at all these carrots. Look at all these carrots to follow. So while that makes sense that you don't want to piss off the Emperor, like the reality is that like Shimura, systems have to be flexible to change based on the needs of a given situation. And when they aren't, that's a problem. Like that's more of an indictment of the Emperor's leadership than anything else. Like rigid hierarchical structures don't really do people particular. Like I'm all for hierarchy but that hierarchy needs to serve all levels of the hierarchy. If it doesn't, then what are you doing? So if the Emperor is going to be pissy because we had to resort to things that facilitated the survival of our people on the island because it didn't follow their like code of honor or whatever, that's an indictment on the Emperor. And this again is where, you know, people rule with fear or like perceived retaliation and all these sorts of things where it's like, yes, like you very well could be a danger. I understand why people comply and don't push against the system because you want to survive, but it doesn't make it justifiable that the Emperor is a douche about his privileged priorities being questioned.
Here.
Go. Be well.
Take this. It's all I have.
You should keep it yourself if that's all you had, but okay. But this is why people in positions of power work so hard to ensure that questioning that power and working against it is so difficult. Because if you can get people to believe that there's no chance in pushing back, or if you have all the resources and strength to ensure that they don't, they won't. Things will stay the same. But getting people collectively to stand up against something, oh my god, is that hard. Craig, thank you very much for the Prime sub. I really appreciate that. Buddy. Oh, baby. Okay. Find the musician in Yarikawa.
Be the
Ooh.
spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance. Tread carefully, my lord. Old Yarikawa is a dangerous place.
I'm all about this. What's up? What's going on here?
What happened here?
We were coming down the road and heard screams. By the time we got here, it was too late.
They must have killed each other.
No, it was the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance.
Spirit.
You know some of the tale, but not all.
Do tell. Hit me up.
Long ago, the samurai of Clan Yarikawa were the most skilled swordsmen on our island. In every generation, one lord was taught their family secret, a deadly technique called the Dance of Wrath that could cut through any foe's defense. The Dance of Wrath found its greatest master in Lord Tokiyasa Yarikawa.
That guy looks like a
Though
badass.
beloved by his people, he resented Clan Shimura's power. Desperate to seize control, he set off a bloody rebellion that claimed countless lives. Lord Shimura's father and brothers fell to Yarikawa's Dance of Wrath technique. But with Clan Sakai's aid, Shimura put down the rebellion and executed Lord Yarikawa.
Damn.
Before he died, the traitor vowed to avenge his conquered people from beyond the grave. Now they leave offerings to his spirit at shrines in old Yarikawa's ruins. They beg for their enemies to die, and the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance answers their calls with the Dance of Wrath.
You believe these men were killed by that spirit?
They were merchants known for cheating their customers, profiting from deceit.
So someone prayed for their deaths.
The shrines overflow with offerings to the spirit, begging him for bloody retribution.
How do I find these shrines?
People burn a handful of straw and flower petals to make smoke, so the spirit finds their prayers. Look to the sky, my lord.
Spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance. See, this is wild shit. Because this requires Jin to learn a
Be
technique.
careful. Yarikawa's people haven't forgotten your clan's role in their
That
downfall.
was a long time ago.
Not to them.
Let bygones be bygones. Oh, it was a long time ago, man. We're cool now. They should respect the current structure. Jesus, Jin. He's going to learn a technique that was directly used against his family. You want to talk about some crazy-ass dissonance? You want to talk about Lord Shimura losing his shit when he finds out that I know how to do this technique? Oh, baby. Oh, my God. That was a long time ago. It should be fine. Slavery was a long time ago. What are you so mad about? That's what he sounds like. I mean, you just answered your own question, Kiara. Oh, by the way, just to address, because I'm sure that there are folks that are watching. I mean, I know there are folks that are watching this playthrough and are thinking to themselves or expressing in comments, which I appreciate. Damn, DrMick, you're really harsh on House Sakai and Shimura. Like, why do you push so hard on them? And I push hard on them because they are the institution of power. They should be held to a higher standard because they have determined that they are the people who are in charge. that they're the ones that protect the island. They have the samurai, they have the resources, all of this stuff. It is deeply, deeply important that they get it right. I don't hold lesser clans, bandits, etc. to as high of a standard because they're not in a position of power. They're not self-directed into that position. They're not the people that are lording over everybody else. They have to, you know, adhere to a standard of general human decency for sure. But the people in position of power have to be held to a higher standard. That should be a universal constant. You shouldn't just let things go because, like, oh, well, you know, that's just how it is. And, well, like, your code of honor should be scrutinized when you are in a position of leadership, more so than if you are not. The code, because that code is in a position to dictate terms for people who may or may not also subscribe to it. If every single person on the island deeply, truthfully, genuinely, authentically subscribed to the samurai code of honor and whatever it is that the Shimuras bring to the island, then I would say, okay, cool. But not everybody does. And as a result, you should have your own, I mean, honestly, the ideal, I realize this isn't particularly realistic given how humans are, but the ideal is that you have a internal system of accountability, that you have your system reading feedback from your constituents, are constantly in contact with the people who are subordinate to you, who you are trying to protect, so that you know what the diverse array of issues the people that you are taking care of care about, that you know what the general lay of the land is on the island of Tsushima. But because in all history we don't really trust humans to do that, we have all sorts of things that we like to call checks and balances. The United States, when it was founded, they're like, yo, man, we don't want the president to be like an emperor or a dictator, so we're going to create a system where alternative systems hold each system accountable so that you can't just have unilateral forcing of X, Y, and Z on a diverse array of people that are underneath or whatever, because we don't generally trust humans to actually do that. But that whole the in the ways that I can as a content creator in talking about this environment that the game occupies, it is important for me to scrutinize the leadership more than I scrutinize anybody else because of the position that they hold, because of the influence they have. It should be something that, you know, a person that's truly in a position of power and actually cares about their constituents should want that. You should want to be kept in check. You should want people to be holding you accountable. You should want people to bring you alternative ideas to what it is that you're bringing and suggest the ways in which that could be better for the masses. You should be opening yourself up to that feedback on your own and make it very clear that that's something that matters to you. I will ultimately make the decision that I believe is best based on all of those factors, but I'm going to be as informed in that decision making as I possibly can be. And unfortunately, that is not always the case. People get locked into their echo chambers, they get surrounded by yes men, like Lord Shimura, and they start acting more closely to self-interest and family interest rather than the needs of the island. And they mistakenly believe that the needs of the island and the needs of the masses are in alignment with their personal needs, and that's when things fall off in a big way. So just wanted to address that because I've noticed that folks have sort of been like, why are you so critical of them, and like why do you spend so much time pushing against that? And it's because I fundamentally believe that you should. Big struggles on this island, man. Oh, it's really brutal to see.
A shrine to the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance. Someone left a message.
Hitaro is a traitor to our people. He's at the camp nearby. End his worthless life. Yeah, that piece of
Keitaro
paper.
is a traitor to a people. He's at the camp nearby. End his worthless life. They must mean the survivor camp.
And yeah, sure, that piece of paper is enough justification to go do that. Sure thing. Get in there, Jin.
Lord Sakai, how can we help you?
Which one of you is Hitaro?
I am.
Someone asked the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance to kill you.
Why would they do that?
He's a Mongol spy. Sneaks off every night for hours. Won't say where he goes.
I've done nothing wrong.
If you're helping the Mongols, I will find out.
I would never do that. Please, let me prove it.
Make him confess, my lord.
I'll explain, but not here.
This is the fundamental issue with this entire thing. I know I keep harping on this. There is no curiosity about why a person would help the Mongols. Jin and Shimura could get so much information if they would take a second to be curious. I'm not saying he's not going to be here, but like, if this guy is sneaking off and giving the Mongols information, you should fully understand why. You should be curious about it. You keep seeing groups of people defecting over to the Mongols. Why would they do that? Well, if I don't believe that the samurai are doing a good and Lord Ishikawa is doing a good enough job protecting me and my life, I'm resorting to what I believe is going to help me survive. I'm sure it's probably some variety of that. But, you know, Jin just immediately going, if you're helping the Mongols, I'll find out. And then you're in big trouble. I really, really believe is not the way to tackle this. It's really not.
Follow me.
There's no incentive to act like that. There's incentive to gather information here. These are your people.
I can't believe they prayed for my death.
You should be more concerned about me. Unlike the spirit, I'm real.
But my lord, I've seen it.
Really? Where?
On the road. 3 bandits tried to rob me. The spirit cut their throats and vanished.
It's interesting that Jin just basically said, I don't believe that the spirit is real.
This is where I come at night, my lord.
A grave.
She said.
Who's buried here?
His name was Tojiro. We were close. But his wife and family were at the camp. I can't explain why I visit without hurting them.
I understand. But the people at your camp don't, and they're scared. It's not safe for you.
Where else can I go?
Make your way to Ariake. Go, before it's too late.
Thank you, my lord.
I hope I have what you're looking for. Just for you. Only the best for you.
Thank you.
May your hunts be successful.
See what's going on with this one.
Someone left a message for the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance.
The Mongols enslave our people. They camp along the Kushi River, not far from the shrine. Destroy them.
The Mongols enslave our people. They camp along the Kushi River, not far from the shrine. Destroy them. This is my fight, not the spirits.
Interesting. I want to know who's showing up. Damn, your prayer card worked. Holy shit.
Shieldmen. It took impressive skill to kill them. Not Mongols. Ours. Why were they killed?
Let me out! Please, my lord!
Calm down. I'll free you.
Jin with the calm down. Something tells me that maybe this guy is a badass.
Tell me what happened.
The spirit! He cut through them all! Then he left. Thought I was going to die in a cage.
Who were these people with the Mongols?
They're the ones who sold me to them.
You're free. Go.
Oh, thank you.
The spirit moved on. Perhaps to another shrine.
Search for more white smoke. I'm pretty intrigued by this. Like, who's this spirit? Is it just some guy? Actually a spirit? What are we working with here?
Another shrine to the spirit. If there was a message here, the spirit already claimed it.
Oh, baby, we're gonna catch him in the act. Collect the offering.
Close by.
It is my pleasure, Water. I appreciate you stopping by and saying that. And I'm glad that my content's had that effect on you, friend. Man, this battle is going to reveal who the spirit is. And that is going to make for an awesome next episode. Friends, thank you so much for sticking around for part 17. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly did. We covered some decent ground here. please do leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, follow the links in the description, all that fun stuff. We're running out of gas. Brain is running out of gas. It's been a long day, so I want to be sharp for whatever this spirit is. It's gonna be great. So grateful for your engagement with my videos and that you watch them. Please subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed. Tell people about it. Share my videos. It makes a huge difference for the channel. If it's been meaningful to you, hopefully it can be meaningful to other people you know. Tarman, thanks for the bits. If you are binging, I will see you right here in the next episode, ready to go and fight this spirit or learn from it. If you're waiting for the next one to come out, we'll get it out as soon as we can. I appreciate all of you immensely. You matter, and I'll see you in the next episode.